Welcome to the Wellness Business Success Secrets Summit. And you know what, you guys? Today is a special day. They all have been very special, but today we're with Danelle Delgado. And I have to tell you, this woman has grabbed me. She had me at hello. And she's the CEO of Life Intended. She's a transformational speaker. She's an elite mentor, executive consultant, marketing strategist, ambitious mom of 3. But I have to tell you, she had me before I knew all that. And the way that she grabbed me is, I was totally in love with what Grant Cardone was saying, the 10X Growth Con and all that stuff. And some of you may know of it, some may not, but that doesn't matter. But the point is I got privy, Danelle, to your presentation, your performance is what I would call it, that you did at the 10X Growth Con. And I was on a treadmill, and how I bring in goodness into my life is I multitask while on the treadmill. And I listen to very amazing people. And you were one of those amazing people. As I was running, and your presentation just grabbed me. And you made me run faster. Because I was like, she's doing what I want to be doing. And she's doing it with 3 children. Oh my God. And then I heard your story even more, and how the things that you've overcome with cancer and divorce and just all these things. And so I'm running really hard, and I'm crying too. Because I'm just like, she's doing so much. And this is a woman I want to know, because she is coming from a place of happiness, and she's striving and doing exactly what she wants to do, and she's overcome things that most people wouldn't know what to do with, but you knew how to take that and turn it into something amazing. So thank you first. Also, before I allow you to say anything, I love this book, this journal, and what you did for me, but with I Choose Joy, is, and it's a wonderful gratitude journal. What you made me realize is, by me actually putting it into action and doing exactly what you said, I was grateful for the things that I was actually found myself complaining about. It transformed my thinking. Then also you helped me realize that I stopped choosing joy at some point, and you woke me up. So thank you.
I love it, Jasper. That was quite an intro, especially coming from you. You are the height of all women lady bosses out there. But no, it's an honor. You reached out. I'm so glad you got to hear the message. I'm glad you love the book. I do. I think all of us sometimes get just a tiny bit off, and over time, right, we get way off, and we forget the little things like thank you and gratitude, and taking a challenge and understanding it's the greatest blessing we could have gotten in our life. It set us on course, right? So I think we're Lady Boss Moms Unite. That's it.
That's right. Well, I have to tell you that not only did your book and your philosophy and your story helped me realize that, because you have the philosophy of your story creates wealth. And a lot of us are afraid to tell our story, not because we don't think we have one, but because we have a really good one, and it could hurt other people. If we were to speak our truth and what we had to overcome, and who got in our way, and how we had to push them out, or bring them back up to get us to keep moving forward. So there's a lot of confidentiality that could be taken apart, but we do need to tell our story in order to keep our sanity. So you coach people on how to do that. So give me just a little tidbit on people that have a really good story on how you make sure that they stay on course but stay authentic with who they truly are.
That's a great question. I think most people are, they're kind of at war with their own story. They battle it. They fight it. They get frustrated. They don't understand, like the biggest thing as an entrepreneur is people say, why me? Like, I don't understand. Why does this happen? And then when they come to grips with why it happened and they're blessed by it, then they're able to share it. So I think for me, the biggest thing that I help people go through is something that I call understanding their foundation, coming to grips with it, learning their value. Most people try to monetize their life before they know their value. And how is the world ever going to reward you for it if you don't understand what it is? And so when people are talking about their story, they're super sensitive, right? They're super sensitive. They're super feisty about it. They're like, don't stomp on my sensitive moments. And, when we share our stories, most of the time it's family who gets really upset because they don't want their dirty laundry aired. And so I teach people how to do it authentically but respectfully. And most of the time, once they work through that journey with me, that they see that their greatest health, their greatest position had to do with them alone. it didn't have to do with anyone else. They're not blaming anyone in their family. They're not saying this happened or this happened. I'm a perfect example. My family is no longer existent in my life. But I know it was 100% my fault, right? Like they made choices and I made the biggest choices. So when I share my story, I'm not afraid of what they'll think because I take full responsibility for my life. And so I think people kind of fight that battle of resentment for what happened to them and overcoming. And then they have the flip side of that, which is, oh, this all happened for a reason. I'm so grateful it did. It made me who I am. Let me tell you about my personal journey. So I help them tell a story based on them, not based on anyone else, because we're really just in this competition, this battle against ourselves and who we were yesterday and how well we can learn to respond to things as well as, not react to things. So it's really all about you. It's funny. Like growing up, my mom was always like, it's not about you. Right? That's what she said all the time. It's not about you. And I always felt like, am I selfish? Am I, and I go, what's crazy? It is all about me. It is all about me. And I can't serve one other person well if I don't have me squared away. I can't become wealthy. I can't become healthy. I can't serve the masses. I can't leave a legacy for my family if it's not about me. It takes me to get the job done. And so it's doing that hard work. I call it love the hard, learning to love the hard. The hard work is the work we do on ourselves,
Yeah, I love that phrase, love the hard. And sometimes we make it harder than it should be because of our story that we
Right.
made up in our head. So, and I love that. But so when you first got started, and I'm going to kind of skip back to when you first got started, because before that you were a teacher and you had all your ducks in a row with that. But then you came to a realization when you first got started, because you were focused and driven. Was it easy?
No, right? I think if it gets easy, I wonder what I'm doing wrong. Right? Like, there's something that I'm missing. This is too easy. Like, I feel like if there's a day where it's like the cliche saying, right? If we're not growing, we're dying. But it's actually true. I think, psychologically, there's science on it. Mentally, physically, if we are not constantly challenging ourselves and growing and doing something we're afraid of and stepping into a challenge, then we're saying it's okay to be mediocre. We're saying that comfort is okay and that average is okay. And I'm all about overcoming average. I think people are so much closer to their big dreams and their big goals, but it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to challenge you. And I'm not saying like try something over and over, beat a dead horse, make it work no matter what. I'm not saying that. That's a different definition of, it's not supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be hard. Some people do the same thing over and over and be like, it'll work eventually. And I'm like, well, not really, right? You've been proving that it doesn't work for a very long time. But it's about the personal journey. Yes, it's supposed to be hard. We are supposed to dig every single day and get to know ourselves at a whole new level and understand what our weaknesses are, what our strengths are, come face to face with them, head on and go, all right, today I'm going to love the hard. Today I'm going to love that I'm a reactionary person when somebody talks about that piece of me and I got to fix that. I'm going to write that. What can I do? I'm going to start with gratitude. Then I'm going to read and learn something about it. And then I'm going to take action on it. I'm going to call that person and say, man, I'm sorry I reacted. You totally triggered something I didn't know was in me. Thank you. Thank you for making it real, right? And you just turn it around. It's, the caliber of our words, right? And how we speak determine the quality of our life. And we have to watch how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, and it'll wake you up to the hard for sure, real quickly.
So here goes back to another. So we're very careful with our words. We're very careful with how we treat people. Well, we treat them the way that we would like to be treated. But what if somebody treats you in a way that you would never treat them? How do you choose joy with that?
Right. That's a good question. That's probably one of the biggest questions I get. I had one lady one time at a retreat sit down and slam her hands on the table and go, I don't get it. How do I choose joy? Explain this to me. My family's terrible. My friends are terrible. People tell me no. Right. And I think it's coming to grips with people are the equivalent of their experiences. And they're treating me in a way that they've been taught. I think we teach people how to treat us. I think they watch how we treat ourselves, right? I think I have a quote out there, how you treat yourself sets the standards for others. And so if somebody comes at me, right, and they're upset, the first thing to do is to see what part of it could be some truth, right? If part of it bugs you, then I'll go, maybe a portion of that's a little accurate. Right? If the world knocks you around a little bit, you had something to do with it sometimes, right? So I always check myself first. Which part did I have to do? And if there's no truth to it, if I thoroughly to my core don't believe that there's truth to it, I'll give them a chance. Now, this is if they're a valuable person in my world. If they're not, and they're just hating to hate, or, I don't usually have time for those people. I'll just send them love. Thanks for sharing your information. I appreciate it. We'll try and take note of it. Have a great day, right? And I'll send them on their way. That usually bothers them, but it might engage them in a conversation that's good and healthy, but it definitely won't trigger them to be more hateful. But if it's someone I thoroughly care about, I'll say, it sounds like there's something digging in there. Why don't you talk to me about that? Right? I'm always concerned about being the one my results require. So let's talk about that. Right? Talk to me on your, right? And usually it's just something that's triggered an old memory, an old past, a something they've got an experience, so they impress it onto whatever I'm doing. And usually it'll help me get to the bottom of a situation that we can right for them. You just kind of have to peel the onion, as we say. But how I respond to it says more about me than it does about them. Right? If people are reactionary, it just shows that they don't have a solid foundation. They're not firm in who they are and what they're doing, and they haven't really come to grips with themselves, because everything everybody says is about what's going on in their own head. So if I get more people healthy, thinking right, more people determined to take a good look at themselves and treat people well, leave them better than they found them, and sometimes I get a little bit of a pushback, like, Danelle's all sunshine and rainbows and positivity only. And there are people who will do that. And I'll go, listen, don't knock it till you try it. Positivity is irresistible, right? You can't help but be around it. And if I can equip the world to be so, comfortable with themselves that they never have to take down somebody else to get their point across, I'll tell you what. I think that we're on to something, and there can be some more productive assets in society. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience, but gratitude is the key. That journal is the key. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed when I came from a place of gratitude is it deflected the negative people. They didn't want to be around me, which was cool. It's like, thank you.
Right?
Yeah. But you can be...
And I'm like, oh, they'll get out. They'll just go.
Yeah,
right?
They'll just go, because they won't know what to do with it. And the thing that's really, really interesting and cool and phenomenal about it is that you can be grateful and keep it real. You don't have to be phony about it. When there's something horrible happening in front of you, you choose how you define it and what you're going to do with it.
For sure. That's why they call me the velvet hammer, because I'll do it nicely, but I will set it straight, right? You can be absolutely grateful and dive in with people, but you can be ruthlessly honest as well. When people are that strong, like, it's really interesting. The higher you go, right, Jasper, you'll know this, the higher you go with mentors and people, the more honest they are and the more they expect you to handle that well, right? Like, if I ever reacted to one of my mentors, I would never probably hear from them again. Right? Everything they say, it's like my grandpa raising me. He would never let me say the term, I know. Like, if he told me to do something, I'd be like, I know, right? Those words were never allowed to come out of my mouth. I said it once and he was like, no, you don't. You do not. Right? And you'll just implement, right? So my mentor is the same thing. So the higher we grow, man, they'll be ruthlessly honest to me, and I'll be like, take it. right? Take a deep breath. Yes, sir, I hear you. All right, I'll get to work on that. And they're like, no, give me a solution right now, right? They don't even give me time to think about it. They're like, what's your solution? When I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a problem. Ouch, that hurt. I thought it was going to work. No, it's not, right? And they'll direct you in a way, and I have to be, I call it solutionizing. I didn't know it was a word. We looked it up because I said it on Friday Night Live last week. It is actually a word. You have to replace every single challenge with a solution immediately. So the higher you get, the less time you have to even think about a problem. Like they don't even want to hear about it. They're like, I don't even want to know the problem. What's your solution? They're like, oh, okay. And they get what's going on. So the higher you go, it just becomes about what can you do? What part do you have a hold of? What can you fix? Because anything else is a waste of your time to think about.
I like that, especially when time is of the essence with
Right?
things.
Time costs money.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
so I've got a question because you've got a structure in how you accomplish goals, how you set dreams, and how you get to where you want to be. Because you take people, you help them break through and get to their greatest potential. But there's a strategy in place. So let's say, I'm going to put you in a scenario. Let's say you're focused and clear on your dream and you're feeling good. You've got a great life purpose, chief aim, goals. You got your daily tasks down. You got your list and you are doing it and you're moving. You're in momentum. You're on course. You're working it. You're feeling really good because you're coming from gratitude. And then whammo, you've got one of these counter intention people that you just said don't pay attention to, but they threw you off because they were close to you and it hurt. And they said something that just totally was like, are you out of your mind? Do you understand? I'm on course here. You are supposed to be supporting me. How do you, I'm sure you've had to overcome that too, because when you're accomplishing things, you're doing good, you're doing amazing, there are people that will try to counter intention that and throw flack at you. We call them haters that don't like that. So how do you keep going?
On track, and make sure I do. Well, I think there's a lot of strategy involved. Number one, the first thing you have to do, like when I tell people if they want to work with me, they have to, for 6 months, write down 10 things they're grateful for every single day, right? They have to do an hour of personal development a day. Otherwise, there's no way I can help them. They're not going to be committed to rising and doing what I teach. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk to you like you're someone who is doing that, right? So you're on this path. I know you're on the path. I see the journal. I know who you are. I know what you do. So if you're on that path and you get a train wreck, okay? I'm so sorry. Hold on.
It's okay. Yes, that's our signature. We share with what we're drinking, just so you all know.
Much water as this body can have before I take flight and like start floating in my own body.
That's right. That's good. Well, all of us in the wellness industry are totally supporting you on that mission.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, you all are in my head, right? I think you guys got to hear from Jacqueline Mitchell. She's one of my clients, and she's always like checking in. Water, aminos, do it. She sent me. She's amazing.
Wonderful.
So when you have a situation, right, and you're trying to overcome, you're really passionate about the goal, the end, the finish line. And so anything that interrupts that, you have a heightened sense of sensitivity to, right? You're going to be like, a normal thing that may come up is going to be like twice as heightened because you're serious, you're set on a goal, and it can be sensitive and you're going to be tempted to react. But there's a couple of things that I think are our daily practices. Number one, if you choose gratitude, it's easier to get over it, right? When I have a really bad time, I'll stop and I'll write down 100 things I'm grateful for. Like literally, it might take an hour of my time, but I'll tell you what, by the end of that, I have nothing to complain about, and I understand, right? There are some people who have tried, some situations that have tried to help me adjust my goal, like tell me I was off. All I had to do was go right back and check it, and then we move forward. But it's how you set the goal that says if anything bothers you or not. Because mindset-wise, I always say adversity visits the strong, but it stays with the weak. Okay? If you're weak, it's going to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. If you're strong, it's going to come, make sure you want what you're going after, and then it's going to go away because you're strong enough to fight it. So being prepared in that mindset is great, but it's how you set up your goal for the win. I teach people 3 things are important: knowing your mission, knowing your vision, and knowing your values. Those three things help me make decisions. All right. So you got to know where you're headed. You got to know where your team's headed. Where's the end goal, right? It's so passionate. It has to be beyond that why that makes you cry that everyone talks about, right? They always say your why has to make you cry, or when it gets hard, you'll fall down. I say, well, no, your why is why you should wake up, right? Your family like needed you to win when your eyes opened, right? That's not what's going to make you go when it's hard. It's got to be bigger than that. And usually for me, it comes down to what I can give once I attain a goal. Okay. So when I set a goal, my vision is doing something so big that it impacts the masses, but also that it comes in a financial reward that I can give something huge. Right. And if I let them down, and so a lot of times I'll commit to what I'm going to give before I hit the goal. All right. Because then, oh, I'm not failing. I'll win. I have to deliver. I'll write the check and I'll hold it in my hand before I've done the goal, because I'll look at it the whole time. So when stuff comes up, I'll know it's probably minuscule in comparison to what I'm getting ready to do and serve. And I have an orphanage that I helped start in Kenya, and it is, I have big goals to help and serve there. I have something called the Kidpreneur Challenge that I believe in wholeheartedly, that helps kids develop a mindset and sales training and all those things that will help them succeed no matter what happens in the world, right? Those things, I'm like, when something comes at me, I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't mess with me right now. I have very serious things and lots of people counting on me. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll connect as soon as I hit this goal. Well, when's that going to be? Well, I've got a date written down. If I hit it, it's going to be here. You can feel free to reach out to me on that day, see where I'm at, hitting my goal, but things happen, right? I was running and gunning and doing great, and I got cancer. I literally picked my kids up out of the office, didn't know that's what they were going to tell me that day, and I had my kids with me. And I got up and I left, and the doctor's like, you can't go right now. Miss Delgado, you can't go. And I'm like, I can. I'll be back. Right? Like, I didn't want to hear it that day. I probably was in a little bit of denial for a moment. But then I said, you know what? I looked at my kids. I said, I have work to do here. I have a lot to be done. I went back. I said, great. Tell me the course we're going to take. We're going to get after it. And they were like, well, you need to have a support team. You need to have all this. I told maybe 5 people that I had cancer the whole time. I didn't tell anyone till after, because I didn't want all these people pouring into me and saying, are you okay? Do you need soup? You need to take a break, right? You need to rest. You're sick. Right? No, I had all these people like Corey, my boyfriend, gave me my own gratitude journal before I developed that one and said, write down 10 things you're grateful for every day. The day I found out, and I was like, I'm not grateful today. I'm not grateful. He's like, yeah, you are. And you're going to write down 10 things you're grateful for and 3 goals that you have. And he got me focused on, I'm going to create something massive. No matter if I get 2 more years, 1 more year, or 20, I'm going to make it count. I'm going to give back. My kids are going to know. So when you're setting your goals, I knew my mission, I knew my vision, I knew my values and what I could say yes to and what I could not. If someone asked me a question or a situation came up that challenged me, I was like, listen, this either does or doesn't align to my mission, my vision, my values, right? If it doesn't, no. If it aligns, yes. I can say yes or no to things extremely quickly because those things are in order. And any goal that comes my way, I just know I'm going until it's done, right? Because the end vision is so big, I can't quit on it. A lot of people, I think, make weak goals. And so little things dissuade them, little things knock them around a little bit. And, sometimes my clients will call and they'll be like, oh, my mom told me this is a disaster. I'm wasting all this money, that I'm going to put my family in debt. What am I doing to train? She's right. Maybe I wasn't worth anything. And I'm like, first of all, give me your mom's phone number.
Exactly.
Right?
Anyone that says that.
I'm protective of my clients. I'm like, listen, I'm going to set her straight. Right? But that's how I go, hey, listen, mom cares about you. Mom doesn't want to see you get hurt. This journey's hard. It's hard. But I'll tell you what, right? And I'll have to speak so candidly and so honestly with them. And literally, I only work with people who have proved that they're worth it, proved that they're going to do the work. And so I can look at them and tell them, listen, I'm in it with you. We're going to win, right? I watch. And the greatest gift I get in the world is at the end of every person that I work with, watching their whole family change, watching their whole financial situation change. Because I'm a results person fast. I'm like, we are a 90-day run from a totally different place for you, right? With anybody I work with. And it's true. It's accurate. But 100%, right? 6 months from now, 1 year from now, right? Millionaire status. 0 to hero. It's absolutely possible. I've done it over and over. And for me, I just have to help people get that reassurance. And I think that's the thing, is people have so many people around them who aren't used to playing big, that that's their comfort zone. And it's easier to believe that because they've heard it more. It's harder to believe what I know is true because 1% of people do it. 1% of people, right? It's one of my favorite books in the world. The step from knowing to doing is rarely taken.
I love it.
And it's because people don't know how. So if you give them the how and you show them, it's like split tests on Facebook, right? When everybody runs ads and they run all these tests to see what converts, there's all this language. People are like, I don't know what any of that is. I don't want to know. I want to hire someone to do that. I go, okay, what about in your own life? Like, split test your life. Who was with you when you were winning? Who was with you when you were losing? Pay attention, right? It's a simple thing that everybody knows. You're the equivalent of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But I say, no, you'll never out-earn your self-esteem or your circle, right? You want to earn. You can't out-earn your doubt, right? Like, your doubt is your income. Right. So it's actually good. I need to write that down, right?
Well, we're recording this, and I'm gonna, okay. I'll get that to you.
Okay,
We just came up with $1 million idea right there. Oh,
it is, right? People, the level of your doubt is the level at which you can earn. The level at your belief, the level at your value, the level at which you know you can accomplish, you will achieve. And so I always say, if there's someone next to me standing right here, you better know that they're better than me at something. I am always growing. My circle is always changing. I have those close 2 that stick near me in anything because they're achieving at the rate I am and they're growing at the rate I am. But the other 3 change. And people just get so wrapped up at the bricks that get thrown at them. They don't understand those are the ones that build their foundation, that build their business, their life, what they stand on. They are necessary blessings. Like, I lost everything. And people are like, we don't know how you overcame that. We don't know how you did this hit after hit. You were so young. How did you overcome it? I'm like, those were not my deficit. Those were my assets, right? And it's outlook. I'm so grateful that it happened to me in 30 years as opposed to 70 years when someone's at the end of their life going, I wish I would have known that. I wish I would have had the ability. So I think the hustle at which you go to achieve a goal is the hustle at which you can grow, right? You overcome at the level of your belief. And so that's actually the new book that I've been working on, why I went to Maui and got so sick and couldn't hop on earlier with you. I took a break. Something in that pina colada just
I guess I have to give a little note on that. Everyone realized this woman was going to still have an interview with me, and she was just unavailable mentally, physically, and emotionally, but she was still going to show up. So hats off to, and I told her, no, I want you at your most amazing self. And so,
like, impeccable with our word, right?
Yeah.
Got to try and show up always. But that's the thing, like, people are this close, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they just had someone who could help them with the how. But the funny thing is, the least amount of money in the world invested in business, do you know what it's on? On personal development. The least amount of money ever invested in business is personal development. And why do you think 76% of businesses break even or fail? Because they don't invest in themselves. And the only reason they don't is because they don't believe in themselves. They don't have their foundation in order. They need someone else's help, yet they fail to buy it, right? Because why? It's not because of the trainer. It's not because of the program. It's because they don't believe they can do it. And there's three things every person needs to know when they're looking to work with someone. Is it real? Like, can they really help me? Can they personally do it? That part's up to them. And will they have help? And that's what we're here for. You, me, everyone who's training. We're working to become the greatest assets in the world so there can be more of them. So you have to take a look at everybody and go, who do I want in my life? Who do I need help for my win? I've got to have it. And then they have to do the personal work to become great. And it usually takes a team of accountability, a mastermind, something to help you retrain. Because I had 29 years of training that was backwards, that told me I wasn't worth it, that told me I was only going to achieve this. Like, Danelle, are you sure you're not the brightest crayon in the box, right? I had all of that for 29 years. And it only took me... it only took me about a year to read those books to where I knew inherently, like, these books are correct. Everyone else who was raising me is like full of it. But it wasn't that it was their fault. They just didn't know. Mm-hmm. They didn't know. And so then I got addicted to reading and growing. I watch more YouTube, TED Talk videos. My library is stocked full. And I went through nursing school and never read a book. So I'd never read before. Be glad I'm not your nurse. I'd never like fully read a book, not even through getting a college degree. I just didn't need to. I just kind of happied my way through life, and I never applied myself. If you apply yourself, anyone who's watching this, you are a vessel of change that you've been waiting for. You are your missing link, but you have to do the work and you have to pay for it, right? Don't be out there getting free.
You have to complete it.
Yeah,
That's another success secret that I'm learning from you, is that you have to show up and you have to complete it no matter what. Because if you don't, you've just left open another point of failure, that energy.
Yeah, you've told yourself another story that I can't complete things. I can't finish. So finish what you start, right? And don't get started until you know you're ready to finish. Right? Some people are like, I do love the whole start before you're ready thing. You have to do that. You have to dive in. But when you're running and you're going, the one thing I don't like is like, jump off the cliff, build your wings on the way down. I'm like, that's like, I've stood at the top of a lot of cliffs. Not ideal. That's not real smart. What I will say, start before you're ready on the intro phases. Read, grow, learn, pay for the retreat, pay for the conference, like go press yourself to move forward. But then you have to love your passion and take your brain with you. Then you have to study the path, right? Study, equip while you're taking actions. That's why I always work with a mentor. Always 100%. There's never a time in my life when I haven't had one, as a coach, as a human being, as anything, because we can't see from outside the box, right? You've got to stay focused on making yourself a vessel. And until you like have the emotional intelligence of an uber genius Albert Einstein, you need someone else to give you the outside look of what's happening. You know, I have goals, Albert Einstein size.
Yes. You made a light bulb go off just from, and I'm going to rewind just a little bit, of knowing who is with you when you're winning and noticing that, and then noticing who's with you when you're losing. Huge epiphany that you just made me realize is, I've done a lot of races. I've done a lot of Tough Mudder types of things, and if I can do that as a correlation, oh yeah. Well, after I did the Tough Mudder 3 times, and then after the 3rd time, I realized I'd rather have a baby.
Yeah.
I'd rather go through labor.
Are they the equivalent in pain? That's what I wanted to know.
Well, I'd rather do a Tough Mudder now, because so they're both about the same. But the thing is that when I was winning and I was ahead of the game and I was going on course and I was doing what I needed to do, there was nobody with me. Is what I realized. It was me, and I was setting the course, and I was setting my pace. When I was losing, I was in a pack.
Yes. That's a huge epiphany moment. I mean, they say it's lonely at the top, right? And I'll tell you, I don't think lonely is the right word. I think it's empowering, right? I think when you set the pace, when you understand the rules don't apply to you, when you understand there are no limits, then you're actually capable to dream again, to hope again, to understand, really, all those things that they said were accurate are actually completely factual. But then you find somebody who's way out in the distance who you can't quite catch, and you're like, there's my pace setter. I'm gonna go get him.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
And then you pass
Absolutely.
them, and then you do
Yes.
it again. Yep. So you should be a little bit on your own journey. If nobody's kind of messing with you, you're probably not doing anything to your potential. You
Right.
know,
That's true.
nobody's
Well, they
challenging.
say that when you are over your target, and they do this in war too, when you are over your target, people are going to be shooting flak at you.
Yep.
Because that's what they did in the war. When the plane was over the target, they shot at them. And that meant you were getting close. So that's a good, but the one thing that I realize in business is that when I'm winning, I am by myself. I noticed that. Not that I really like that, but I've noticed that that's how I'm on focus and I'm on target.
Right. Get rid of all distractions. Yes. Right. People are like, you're very that like, because I get invited to do things all the time, and I say no to 90% of them, because simply leaders, winners, champions are the ones who only do things that get them closer to their goal. Right? Would it be fun to go out Friday night instead of training people for an hour every night on Friday Night Live? Yeah. You know, sorry, 1 second.
It's all right.
That's funny. I'm like, I don't even have a phone that makes that noise. My daughter's phone is in my purse.
I love it. Well, you guys, and you have to know about Friday Night Live. This woman is amazing. She will open up a cocktail or have a glass of water or do something, but her Friday Night Lives are a good place to be. And I love them. I love them. I look forward to them. I celebrate them. So, yeah, you are
I love having you on. It's
yes.
a fun thing on Facebook every Friday. Every Friday, I think entrepreneurs do what others won't. They're more passionate, they're more driven, they're more committed to their goals. And so I go, well, the 1% Club happens on Friday night when everybody else goes to the bar, or out to dinner, or to the movies, whatever it is, or just to take a nap, right?
Right.
For me, I said, what would be the hardest thing in the world? Like, I should keep training. I should keep going, because I was working on Fridays. I said, the best thing I could do, here's my goal again, that makes it worth it, is to give back. So I give an hour of training every Friday night, no matter where I am in the world. We were in Italy, and I think we did it at Saturday at 3 a.m. because that was the time that it was at. But I'm committed, and I do it. And I've been able to help so many people there that it's crazy. So set your goals bigger. Set your goal to give, not to get.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I want to just add one more thing because of who you are and what you're up to. And I want to give people a perspective on how you accomplish things and how you honor your word and how you show up. You called me after I had invited you and really I wanted to get to know you because I was so compelled with everything that you're about. You called me at 10:30 at night, right after you got off a plane from Italy, and you called me on Facebook. And you just were like, I just want to say hi. And I was like, this woman, she just got off of an 18-hour flight, and she's driving home, and she's called. So maybe that was my perspective. I don't know, but I was so honored with. Well, you kept your word, and you showed up, with class, and that takes talent, skill, and knowledge, and I really appreciate you for that. And I come from a place of complete gratitude for how you are and who you are.
Like attracts like. You found me. So I think the feeling is very mutual, Jasper. You're doing a lot for a lot of people. And we always recognize that in each other, the right heart, the right spirit to go and serve. Because there are people out there who just want to take and who want to make money. And, hey, don't get me wrong. I love to make money. It's very fun. It gives me a lot to do, with my kids. But it is what you can do with it, and it's done well for you. It's done amazing things for you, and getting to work with other people like that and expand and connect, just like Zuckerberg's telling us on Facebook, is real, which it totally is. That's the ticket. So I'm grateful to be here with you guys.
Right. Well, I just have another question. I hate to keep on, but you'd always trigger something. It's about attracting people. and attracting the people that are going to move you forward. And so, and then also attracting the clients that you want to work with, because you said you're very picky with the client that you work with. They have to be at a certain place. So the advice that you can give to somebody that is in business and is out for success and is doing what they want to do, knowing how to attract the right people for who you are, your key to success for that. How do you do that?
I think it was all in who I helped. But here's what I always say. I look for those people I can serve the most and help get results the fastest. So you got to take a look at what is your skill, what is your talent, what can you do that no one else can. If people come and ask you questions all the time, what are they asking you about, right? Know your skill and your talent so well that you could see someone and go, I could get a monetizable result, a physical result, an emotional result that would totally change their life. I find who is ready to transform and who I could get massive results with fast, and I work with them, right? It's amazing to me how many people just want to make a paycheck, so they want everybody in their program, or they want everybody in their course, or they're just serving. They're not really selecting. I'm incredibly selective. Because I only want to serve people that I could serve them well. Like, there'll be a lot of people who call and they're like, I want this, I want your results. And, they're like demanding it from me, or they're like, they said you're the gal and we're going to follow you. And I was like, okay, so I'll do one little session with them real quick. And I'll be like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and suggest you work with so-and-so, right? They'll help you. They're more on this level. And they'll ask why. And I'm like, I had one this week. And I was like, well, can I be honest with you? You paid for an hour of my time. And they said, yes. And I said, you're kind of a jerk. Right? Like I go, you're just out to do something. I don't understand what you're doing for people. And I said, I just don't see the value in it. So I wouldn't be a good teacher for you. Let me adjust you over here. They called me like 2 days later and said, I think you've struck my entire business. Like, I have had a total come to Jesus moment. I need to talk with you more. Can you help me? I've been going wrong the whole time. So it actually made a massive impact on them. And that's kind of the velvet hammer. Like, listen, you're great. You have a great idea, but you're not doing anything that has anything to do with me or whatever. But so look for those people, selective people who you can really help, because it's going to do two things. One, it's going to give you more belief because you're getting results with people. You're going to feel great about yourself. So you're going to do more of it, right? We repeatedly do what brings us pleasure. We stay away from what brings us pain. Not helping people and having them pay you for nothing is going to bring you pain. Right? But you're also creating natural testimonials, loyal following. You're doing all those things that when you treat people well, it's given back. And so go for who you can help the most, help get results the fastest.
I love it. I love it. And I've always said to my clients that I will never fire you. You will probably fire yourself because of something that you do. And I set the standards of this is how we're going to work together. And I've only had to fire 2 clients. Right.
Yeah. You gotta get your, I think it's an expectation, but I think it's it's a mutual respect for each other. Mm-hmm. If I give you my time, it's taken away from somebody else. I value you. I know you can do this, but you have to be at the point where you won't quit on you, and we'll go through this together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's beautiful and hard, and it's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is. And you are amazing. And you have a free gift that you're offering to everybody that you can just keep on giving, keep on sharing, and do what you do best.
I do. So several things, right? I always do a lot. But Friday Night Live is the best place to find me there. And I do a lot of things. But I'd love for you guys, I have something called Elite Life Academy. And Elite Life Academy is the place where you build that foundation, your connection, and it's an amazing program. But what I told Jasper I would do for you guys is that first course I did, which is like an hour and a half, I'm going to go ahead and give that to all of you to take a look at, because it's about prime time foundation. And I just want to be a part of helping all of you get you right so that you can go get your job done. So do you want me to drop that in there or tell them where they can find it?
It's a link that they have that says free gift, and it's going to take them right there.
Perfect. Well, I can't wait for you guys to take a look at it. It's going to be remarkable. Yeah.
Yes. And the Elite Academy, you guys, is profound. So this is a very, very gracious gift that you're giving for the first little module. I really appreciate that.
Hey, they're committed to take time and learn by being here, and you're doing a lot for people around the world. So let's make it a better place, right?
Awesome. That's what I'm about.
It's a little world PC statement, but it was a true pleasure, Jasper. You're amazing.
And so are you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.